All right, so living in Seattle, we grill indoors. Sorry, it rains, okay? So I wanna make a dish that is smoky, delicious, but made inside the house. And something that you don't have to worry about the fire department coming over. I'm gonna show you some really cool tricks. We are gonna bust out an amazing carne asada with black beans and greens. This dish is healthy. It's not guilt-free totally because there's a little red meat and stuff, but it's a light red meat dish, which I love. So I've got some beautiful flank steak. Oh, timer, let's do it. 15 minutes on the clock. Yes, here we go. All right, so I've got some flank steak and I've got an indoor grill on the pan. I've got an indoor grill on the heat, and it's on a high heat. So we're gonna start with the steak, and we've got beautiful flank steak, right? And these are those ones you can just see, tons of beautiful fat, a little thinner, so it's gonna cook up nice and fast. But one of the things that everyone always asks me is, when you carve a piece of steak, how do you know where the grain is? Everyone says, cut against the grain. Howard, get in really close here. The trick with cutting against the grain and knowing where the grain is looking at the steak before you cook it. Do you see all those lines? Howard, are you picking that up?
I got it.
Yeah, so you want to go against those lines when you cut it. If you cut with it, it just gets a little chewy. Really hard to see once it's cooked, but before it's cooked, that's the trick. You can really identify it and see it. So we've got those ready to go. I'm gonna grab some spices. I've got just a little cumin, right? And maybe some smoked paprika. So what's really, really cool about this dish is we're gonna do what's called a reverse marinade. And everyone knows a marinade is something where you soak, a piece of meat or some vegetables in a really flavorful kind of, I don't know, oil or vinegar solution that kind of permeates the meat. It tenderizes it and really gives it some extra flavor. But this is gonna be a reverse marinade where the meat's gonna cook and then we're gonna throw it in the marinade after the fact. So, really cool. So we've got cumin, I've got a little bit of smoked paprika, I've got some salt, and I'm just doing it all on one side. This is just kind of how I do it. I'm gonna grab some olive oil, all right, and I'm just gonna kind of oil these guys up. Now, whenever I grill anything, right, I always oil what I'm grilling, not the pan. That way you don't have too much oil in the pan and things don't burn. Cool. This looks really good already, actually. Awesome, so really kind of press everything in, and then I'm gonna take these guys up and lay them in. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Awesome. So the thing with steak is, and when you're grilling steak, meats like this, don't touch it. Howard, do you touch it?
I never touch it.
You touch it. And the problem with when you touch it is you don't get that char that you're looking for. It doesn't kind of burn the way that you want that steak to taste, that little kind of beautiful black caramely richness. So I'm gonna add a little bit more salt on the other side and just a little bit more cumin and smoked paprika. So really easy. I don't know why I do this part in the pan and not all together at once, but just how I roll. All right, so that's looking really good. And again, not too much oil on there, just enough to kind of coat the meat, which is great. All right, so steak's doing its thing. Now we're gonna get to the black beans and greens. So let's see. I'm gonna grab a little pan here, throw this on a heat. Always heat up your pans, guys. Do not go for the ingredients until the pans are nice and hot. Then, look at this. Black beans, always, always, always have a good can of beans. I don't care what it is, pinto, black-eyed peas, something in your actual cupboard to save the day if you need a quick meal. Black beans are so good for you too. So I've got some black beans. I'm gonna open these guys up, and then I'm gonna grab a ton of garlic. This is just one of those dishes that's better with garlic. So I'm gonna add 3 cloves. Oh yeah. Chili. I've got all the stuff. Look at this. Tortillas. This is all leftover stuff, but I'll use it. All right. So here's what we got. So first of all, chili. This stuff is so, so good. I love fresh chili. It's got that fruity flavor that dried chili doesn't give you, but it's really spicy. And everyone always asks, well, how spicy is it? Well, you can definitely try it. Just nick off a little bit. Not bad. That one wasn't bad. That one didn't crush me. But everyone thinks the seeds are what's spicy in a chili. It's actually the pith that's spicy, and because the seeds are touching the pith, you know, that's where that myth comes from. But I still don't like the seeds. They get caught in your teeth and all that good stuff. So here's a really cool trick to get the seeds out of your chili. Take the chili and roll it. Don't put all your weight on it. You don't want to pop the chili, but just kind of give it a good roll. Beautiful. And then cut off the top and shake them out. And they should mostly come out. There you go. For the most part they came out, but they're really loose. See that, Howard? Nice clean chili. Easy peasy. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna slice this thin into just little strips. Really easy. And I'm gonna save half for the marinade, and I'm gonna use the other half for the beans. Really easy. So I'm just gonna kind of move that to the side. I'm gonna do the same thing with garlic. So I'm gonna slice the garlic thin. I'm gonna save half for the marinade and half for the beans. All right, beautiful. Easy, right? Anyone can do that. Don't worry about rushing the process, really simple. The chili off those steaks are starting to kick in. All right, some olive oil into a nice hot pan. Getting that, Howard?
Got it.
And then I'm gonna take half my chili and garlic and into the olive oil. Looks really good. Just kind of get that going. While that's going, I'm gonna keep the lid in the black beans like this so I don't have to get a big strainer dirty. And I'm just gonna use it to strain out the liquid. Beautiful. And again, you can keep that liquid. We've done a really good salad dressing with it before, and it kind of whips up. It's really good. That's really spicy. Yeah, you getting it too? All right, so if this happens and you start kind of coughing, it starts smoking, and this is kind of what happens when you grill indoors, here's my secret. I promised you a secret. Flip them. Look at that char. Those are beautiful, right, Howard?
They look great.
They look great. And then put them in the oven. 425 degrees is always what my oven's at. There's no smoke in the air, there's no chili in there, and they're continuing to grill and cook through evenly, which I love. All right, so let's look at this garlic. So the garlic and chili are kind of just turning brown. Do you see that? Yep. So they're kind of just frying. I'm gonna add the black beans in. Beautiful. Actually, looks really good already. All right, get rid of this can. This is so easy, so fast, I love it. Oh, greens. I know I have greens. I have leftover kale. Kale. Kale is having a moment. I mean, it was like one of those things where it's like, kale's so in, and you see kale chips and kale pasta and all that stuff, and it might be on the kind of downturn of its moment, but I'm a big kale fan. I like how hearty it is. So the way I like to clean kale is I hold it upside down, I take the leaves, and I strip them off. So you're left with the stem and the leaves. I'll do it again. Really simple. It's kind of fun too. If you have kids, they can rock this out for you. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take the leaves, push them to the side, grab the actual stems, because you know I'm not throwing these away, and I'm gonna slice these as thin as possible. How are we doing on time? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. This went by so fast. Oh my God. All right, so we've got kale stems. Those are gonna go right in with the beans, and they're gonna kind of be this crunchy, kind of sweet accent that I love. They're going right in. Then I've got the actual kale leaves themselves, and these are gonna kind of just wilt down. You don't need to be too precise with them. Just kind of scrunch them up, give them a good chop one way, and then just kind of chop them the other way, right in. Black beans and greens. And this is why I love this guy, by the way, my little bench scraper. Gets all the goodies off the table. With these chili seeds to the side. Okay, so we've got our greens. We've got our black beans. Are you getting in there, Howard, so everyone can see? Looks really, really good. We'll season that at the end, but so far, looking really nice. Then, the reverse marinade. The marinade that the steak's gonna go into as it comes off the heat. So I'm gonna grab a bowl. Mama Lil's pickled chilies. Man, these are just the bomb. I love them so much. The oil in them is like nectar. I've cooked with this a lot. So I'm gonna use a little bit of that oil. If you don't have it, just use olive oil. And then I'm gonna use just a couple of these pickled chilies on top of my garlic and my actual green chilies. That's perfect. I got some lime, love lime. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of the zest. Oh, this smells so good. All right, beautiful. So we've got chili, garlic, pickled chilies, and lime zest. We're just gonna kind of chop this up nice and fine. Since this is not cooking, and it's gonna kind of soak into the meat, I kind of want this to be almost like a paste. So it kind of latches on to the outside of the meat. This looks really good, actually. And whenever I'm chopping things like this, I like to add just a little bit of salt. It helps kind of break down everything. You can hear it. It kind of acts like little knives to kind of help bust it up. Look at that. That looks good. Very Christmassy. Have you ever been to Santa Fe, Howard, and they have green salsa, red salsa, or Christmas salsa, where they just mix it? Have you ever heard of that?
I've never seen that.
This is my Christmas salsa right here. So we've got our oil, and then I'm going to pick up all those ingredients, put it into the bowl. It's really good. I'm gonna take that lime, I'm gonna squeeze it through my hands, catch any seeds. It's really fragrant smelling too. It's unbelievable. Then I'm gonna grab a fork and move it around. Pretty simple. I'm a little nervous on time. How are we looking? We're okay. All right, so there's our little reverse marinade. That's all you need. Let's try it. It's bright. I love it. The oil to lime juice is about equal, so it's really acidic and poppy. I love the color. That's awesome. So here's how I kind of finish off these beans. I'm gonna grab some salt. And one cool trick is, if you have like some sort of spice that's on a meat or on the main part of a dish, if you add just a little bit of this, in this case cumin, into the side dish, it kind of ties together and tells the whole story. So it's just a nice little trick if you're cooking at home. All right, so the kale stems are looking just kind of broken down. And by the way, if you're wondering how I'm flipping this, it's really easy. You just go forward and back, and it will flip it for you. Don't use your wrist though, just forward, back. All right, let's try it. I like it. There's a part of me that wants to use some lime juice on there, but you have to think about the fact that the marinade and the steak, all that's gonna kind of play together. So sometimes it's nice to kind of have like a subtle side dish that's kind of more of a compliment than anything. All right, last but not least, I'm gonna heat up some tortillas. These are my favorite tortillas. Pan me. Okay. A lot of pans today, but you know what? You don't have to really clean this tortilla pan. No oil, just throw the tortillas right in. Can you see that, Howard? Just kind of warming them through. Another trick with these is you can just grab a little water on your hand, give them a little splatter, and that water will kind of steam the tortillas. All right, let's check our steaks. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Look at these. They're coming out. Beautiful. They're looking really good. How are we doing on time? 1 minute, okay. This is gonna happen fast. So, the steaks are kind of like, their pores are open. Perfect timing to kind of accept some beautiful marinade. And look at this. You just kind of rub this all around. That looks so good. Let's grab a plate. Let those kind of just soak it. All right. Oh my God, we're coming down to the wire, baby. Coming down to the wire. So, black beans and greens on the plate. Love it. Our reverse marinated steak, which in a perfect world I'd let rest for about another minute. But they look awesome. So remember, the grain goes this way, so I'm gonna cut it this way. Those look good. Really nice. All right. Beautiful. A little bit more of that marinade on top because I can. 30 seconds left. Ah! It looks really good. Awesome. Grab a couple of tortillas, 2 or 3. These are nice and warm now. Woo, they're hot. And how do I stop it? Stop. No. 14 seconds left. Yes. 14 seconds left. Check this out. Carne asada, reverse marinade, black beans and greens, a couple of tortillas. I love this dish. It's a really, like I said, you don't have to feel guilty about this one, even though it's red meat. Really healthy, especially if you're watching the carbs. Get rid of the tortillas if you need to, because honestly, just the steak and those greens are magical. Enjoy this one. And to spend more time with me in the kitchen, head to yumly.com.